Right guys, I hope you all are well. Just wanted to share a huge investor update for Hudayriat Island for my previous investors and those of you who are looking to enter the island now. So in the last couple of days, basically Abu Dhabi announced a new sovereign wealth fund which will be called Limad Holding. And the chairman of Limad Holding is going to be none other than the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Khalid. So the very Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi is going to be the chairman of Limad Holding, right? Who else is going to be on the board? You've got Sheikh Khaldoon Al Mubarak, who is also the CEO of Mubadala. Mubadala is Abu Dhabi's second largest sovereign wealth fund, okay? And you've got some other very high profile people from Abu Dhabi who will be leading this wealth fund, right? And of course, Limad Holding is going to be supporting the economic growth, diversifying revenue and boosting investment returns. Now, why does it matter for Hudayriat Island and why am I making this video? The reason being that Limad Holding has acquired a stake of 42% in Modon. So Modon is basically the developer behind the entire Hudayriat Island master plan, and Limad Holding, the sovereign wealth fund, just purchased a 42% stake in Modon, which is a huge thing, right? And why is it big, right? And what does it mean for investors? Let me just come to it. But before that, just to tell you guys a bit more about Limad Holding, Limad was also behind the recent bidding, to acquire Warner Brothers in the US, along with the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So in December, you guys have had this whole story that the Paramount Group in US wants to acquire Warner Brothers. And the two companies behind that bid were, of course, Saudi's Public Investment Fund, the PIF, the Qatar Investment Authority, as well as Limad Holding. So Abu Dhabi, Saudi, and Qatar were bidding together, right? So it's such a huge sovereign wealth fund. And it's going to be the fourth sovereign wealth fund, of course, after Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Mubadala, and Abu Dhabi Development Company. And these are the biggest holding companies in the Middle East. They're managing around $2 trillion in wealth, if I'm not mistaken, right? Now, why does this matter for Hudayriat and for Modon? Of course, it's first of all, of course, it shows you the government directly purchased a stake in Hudayriat Island, and that means construction timelines will be met, okay? There will be much better waves of appreciation in future launches and existing launches. Construction quality will be up to the mark because now government has direct oversight in Hudayriat Island and a lot more involvement actually into the whole master plan. And they want to position Abu Dhabi and specifically Hudayriat Island as the place to live, the place to be in the next 5 to 10 years. So anyone who is missing out on Hudayriat Island is not just from an investment perspective, but even from sort of like, a no-brainer place to get in Abu Dhabi right now. If you want to have a piece of Abu Dhabi and grow with Abu Dhabi, Hudayriat is the place to be, right? Whether you're a short-term investor or long-term investor, Hudayriat is going to reward you. So now a very big factor in UAE usually is people when investing in off-plan, right? They think that, construction timelines may get delayed. There could be development risks, quality risks. But with this announcement, basically, you've got a rubber seal stamp from the government that Hudayriat Island simply cannot fail. The whole master plan from start to finish will be completed because of direct government involvement, right? So I would even say this is probably the safest off-plan investment, one of the safest off-plan investments in UAE for the next 3 to 5 years, without a doubt, right? So, of course, big congratulations to my early investors who bought in previous launches. If you're already an investor, congratulations to you as well. You just bought into a vision where government is directly involved in, right? And what this will result in is, of course, as I said, the quality of the finished villas, right? The contractors are going to be much more. There's going to be a lot of quality control measures. Handover timelines will be met strictly, and of course, payment plan. A lot of people ask me, this is such a huge master plan, right? Why is Modon still offering 40-60 payment plans or 50-50 payment plans? There's just one answer which I give them, that the government does not need your money to build the project, right? They've got trillions of dollars in wealth, right? And even if all of the investors were to back out from the project, this island will still be completed because of government involvement in Hudayriat Island, right? So, of course, this is going to be the year is off to a really good start for Hadeerath Island, and all of the existing products, especially, there's going to be a lot of demand because of this announcement as people get to know about it. People who bought in Bashar and Nasim, Nawaif, we're already seeing some strong resale activities. I myself have just transferred and closed 2 secondary market deals, one in the Bashar residences for an apartment and one in the Nawaif village townhouses for a townhouse, both at a premium. So even people, I would say, who entered Hudayriat, they're sort of already flipping their units, which is a really good sign of a strong market. Right. Now, of course, let's talk a bit about what's coming up in Hudayriat in 2026, right? And of course, Modon, they're going to be launching apartments in Reem Island, Tara and Mahira over here. If I can show you guys on the VR layout. So Modon also have projects in Reem Island. This is Mahira A and B, right? This is going to be Tara A and Tara B. I personally like Tara A and B because it's right next to Reem Mall, walking distance. That's going to be a key selling point for these apartments. And if you are one of those investors with a smaller budget of around 2 million dirhams, then of course, you can enter Modon's products in Reem Island. Otherwise, Hudayriat is a good option. Now in Hudayriat, what's coming up? You've got Bashar Phase 3 apartments, right? Bashar Phase 3 apartments. I can show you guys here. So as I told you guys in my previous videos that Hudayriat and Bashar will be having... Right, so this is Hudayriat Island, of course. So this is Bashar, right? We already had building 1, 2, 3 and 4. They were launched, and building 5 and 6 will be coming up right on this corner plot. So of course, in terms of water views, it's going to be a bit more premium, and this is not confirmed, right? Huge disclaimer, but the phase 3 of Bashar apartments is going to be branded or hotel residences, which is not confirmed, but there are strong chances of them being branded or hotel residences, right? So those of you who missed out on the first apartment launches in building 1, 2, 3, 4, you can, of course, this is sort of going to be your last chance to enter Hudayriat apartments, waterfront apartments in Hudayriat. Then you of course have the southern hill, the third hill in Hudayriat, the much talked about hill, launching in Q4 of this year. So if I can show you guys on the map. So this is Hudayriat. This is the third hill, which is coming up end of this year in the last quarter. And of course, as you guys can see in terms of location and views, this hill is much more premium. Why? All 3 sides, so the western side, the eastern side and the southern side, have beach views and sea views and beach views actually, right? So the beach extends throughout the hill. Actually, you don't have to travel to the other part of the hill. You're going to have much better views, sea views, and of course the prices are going to be also equally much more higher. No information yet out on prices for the 4 beds and 5 beds on the hill, but 100% they are going to be much more expensive than the east and west hills, Nawaif hills, which were already launched, right? So the third hill is launching end of this year, and then you've got Al Nasim Villas. Another phase is coming with the golf course actually, expected to be launched in 3 to 4 months, right? I'm assuming from my conversations, it's going to be these villas here overlooking the golf course. So this entire little strip that you see with the golf course, this is going to be the next launch, most likely for the Naseem Villas. Again, priced much higher, 20, 30%, 40%, no idea, higher than Naseem. So yeah, of course, this will be the first golf course in Hudayriat, so the demand will be there regardless. And finally, you've got the Wadim Villas. Now, a lot of people asking about Wadim plots. Wadim is basically this community here, which this is all plots, by the way. There are no villas or buildings or townhouses here. These were plots launched last year in May, June 2025, completely sold out. So Wadim Villas are going to be coming up in this piece of land here, most likely, this little area. Now, of course, personally for me, right, I'm not too interested in this launch, right? It's nothing too special, first of all. Why? Because this side of Hadeerath is next to the industrial area of Musaffa. So all of this land is industrial area. So naturally, a lot of people may not prefer living next to the industrial area. But of course, they have said that the industrial area will be relocated. Not sure when, but 3, 4, 5 years, this area could be relocated. So if that is the case, then of course, this part of Hadeerath naturally will pick up a lot of demand, right? So these are the 4 upcoming products coming to Hadeerath. Of course, Bashar Phase 3 apartments, Naseem Golf Course Villas, the 3rd hill in Hadeerath, and the Wadim Villas, right? Still no information yet released about the western side of Hadeerath, about these villas and townhouses. But if they're launched, they'll be very, very interesting, right? So I hope this was a helpful video, guys. Of course, Hudayriat Island, for those of you who are sitting on the sidelines of Abu Dhabi's market, right? If you want to get a good resale deal, I mean, I won't say it good as in you're getting it cheaper than developers' launch price, but you have to pay a premium in the resale market. So if you're looking to enter Abu Dhabi's market, and if you've got a budget of at least 2.5 million dirhams for the apartments, all the way up to 10, 11 million dirhams for the villas and townhouses, then of course, Hudayriat is the place to be. The payment plan is really flexible. A resale market is very strong, right? Which we do not see in a lot of off-plan projects in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, right? What happens is people buy and they just have to hold until handover. And you either see distress deals or you see people selling at original price. But in Hudayriat, that's not the case, right? Which is very rare. So that tells you the demand is there. The government just took on the project a lot more seriously, and pretty excited for what the year brings to Hudayriat. If you're interested to enter the island, right, of course, all of the existing launches are completely sold out. So if you want to get in, we can either get you into a resale deal, or we can wait for the upcoming launches of the Phase 3 apartments or the villas, right? See you in the next one, and I hope this was a helpful video.